Purging Blitz.
That is us. I mean, how many times has Pazuki's been mentioned? I swear, they owe us money. That's definitely true. As much advertising has happened already tonight. All right, looks like we are ready to start, so we're about to get in the game. I hope you guys are excited as we are, because I am so pumped to watch LGD play and see if Dreamz can take some games off and maybe even win the set. So,
yeah, hopefully LGD just comes out guns blazing, shows off what they can do, and show that they actually deserve to get in.
yeah, it would be really fun to see them just absolutely dominate through. I mean, if we think about what happened last year at TI3, LGD went through the group stage, did insanely well. They were, I think, the only team that didn't drop a game in the group stage, or was it them and IG?
I think it was, all the way leading up until they met IG. LGD was actually, or
Navi,
LGD,
I believe.
Oh, Navi. They were actually undefeated up until that point.
Yeah, they really did fantastic at TI3. It was just seriously impressive performance. So starting things off for LGD, they're going to go with the Batrider ban. Not too unexpected. Batrider has amazing disable capabilities with his Firefly, or with his Flaming Lasso, excuse me. It's great against heroes like Lifestealer or anybody that it ends up being a carry who ends up picking up a BKB. So not surprising at all to see Batrider banned.
Yeah, it's actually one of the strongest mid heroes. You can do the off lane as well, jungle, really, really versatile in every single lane. And actually, Jules is going to disconnect from the game. Seems like we've had some issues, so we're going to have to wait on the next ban.
He is the drafter, so we are asking for a remake, unfortunately. May have to end up doing that. Yeah, Batrider also really great just because sticking Napalm at all stages of the game is just not fun to deal with, because it's one of the few abilities in Dota that actually does alter your turn radius, so that really messes things up quite a bit, or your turn speed, excuse me, so it can be quite troublesome to change targets in the middle of a team fight. So. Alright, and we are going to have to go into a remake here. Can hop back into that pretty quick, hopefully. Get back into the draft. All the players are rejoining now. Hopefully no more connection problems with fail logins.
Yeah, and I actually think that Batrider first ban is a little interesting just because LGD has the first pick, and it is a tier 1 hero. But maybe it's just something that they're not comfortable with playing, and maybe they pick something else up and they just don't want to give it away or have to deal with it at all.
Yeah, it can be very annoying to deal with at times with your hard carry. What are the more typical picks in the Chinese scene right now? Are you that familiar with the common? Is it that different from the Western qualifiers, for example?
I don't think we'll see anything too different. I think Wisp is a little, and Gyro are both a little undervalued in the Chinese scene. They don't value it as highly as as the Western scene does. But I think for the most part, the general heroes that are still big are, we have Mag, Batrider, Nyx, Keeper of the Light, Rubik. Those are all still tier 1 heroes in any scene, regardless.
And what about some of a niche pick, something like Slark? We saw Slark make a really big, I'm not going to say, all right, splash in the in the Western qualifiers, but do you think we'll see something weird like that? I mean, surely they've been watching the Western games. Not as important for them right now since they only have to play Eastern teams, but I really felt like Slark showed how strong of a hero he was this week, and maybe we'll see something like that as well.
Yeah, he he had been picked before by Team Liquid a few times. I know Korok really likes playing it. It is a really good hero. I know Miguel played it really well for AL, and they actually did quite well with it. They did a lot better than I thought they would, taking out some pretty good teams with it. So maybe we'll see something like that. I'm not too sure if we'll see anything too out of the ordinary like that as we did in the Western qualifiers. I know, as we saw in the last game, the Chinese scene is a lot more stable with the way they pick. You don't see anything crazy from coming out of them.
I even saw the gyrocopter that went Aghanims in one of the earlier games, and I was super surprised about that as well. A really different item build than we normally see. So we are actually loading back into the game. We'll be in just a second here. Hopefully no more disconnects, but yeah, there's seems like everybody's really pulling out these small cards that they have been saving until this qualifier so that they can whip it out and then hopefully catch the enemy team unaware. And this is completely important as well. Every team that you beat in the group stages gives you a much, much higher chance of winning or getting towards the top place. And you definitely want to be at least one of the 2 top teams, because then you get to go all the way to Seattle and you have a really good shot of playing in the tournament. So.
Yeah, definitely. And Ben's actually sending me some notes, so thank you, Ben. And we're actually going to see the Lone Druid ban right off from Dreamz. We actually saw that hero do work for first departure in Game 2 and Game 3, so not something they want to give up. One of the best offlaners, best short laners, really good at a one-on-one matchup.
Yeah, he really is strong right now, especially with that armlet. Little exploit, so can we say? It's even banned in some tournaments, but still let through here. But really, really fantastic item on the bear. Even with a little bit of farm, it only takes about 2,700 gold, and then you have an item that gives you like 45 damage, and most importantly, armor, HP regen, and a decent amount of attack speed, and that plus phase boots. Even if you're in an offlane bear, you can farm that reasonably fast and still be really strong on the map.
Yeah, and I'm actually just looking at AUI really leerily right now about that armlet thing. It just makes bear an even worse hero to play against. And I'm really glad, though, that something that the Western scene does quite commonly is able to infiltrate the Eastern scene some as well.
Yeah, it is really fun to watch that happen. So we're waiting on the last span in the first round here. Dreamz gets to go, and then LGD gets the first pick. So what are the core heroes that we're waiting on? We got Wisp. Maybe we'll see a Wisp picked up. We did see him in some of the earlier games. Other Imba heroes?
There's the Keeper of the Light. I mean, there's the Clockwork ban. I think Clockwork right now has been a pretty tier 1 hero for them, for the Chinese scene right now. Actually, we're going to see the Lifestealer picked up right off the bat. Just that Rage, the Infest, makes it really hard to kill him.
Yeah, and Lifestealer really starts them off into a lot of laning possibilities. They can do an aggressive tri-lane, they can do a safe tri-lane. Some teams have even dabbled with like an off-lane Lifestealer occasionally. If you have a really tough time, you can start in the jungle. And it looks like Dreamz is going to go for the ever-annoying Nyx Assassin, really effective at all points in the game. He can do a solo mid role, he can do a support role. Mana Burn is always going to be frustrating to play against. And the other really, really high-class support right now, Shadow Demon, just because Disruption is so useful. Especially in a tri-lane situation, whoever Lifestealer goes on, hopefully Shadow Demon will be there to disrupt them, and that should buy them at least 2.5 seconds of invulnerability, and maybe they can turn team fights as a result.
Yeah, with the open wound, or once Lifestealer open wounds somebody, Shadow Demon can actually, it just gives them a really easy target to disrupt. And on top of that, the Purge, his ultimate, actually goes through the Lifestealer's Rage, so...
Yeah, that's going to be good at all levels of the game. Another really great reason to pick up Shadow Demon. There's so many BKB carries that are popular, but it works so much better against a melee one because a completely slow melee target might as well be stunned because he's most likely not going to be right up next to an enemy. He can counteract that at least slightly by getting like a phase boots and Drum of Endurance or something like that. Pretty common Lifestealer build at the moment, but regardless, it still is quite a nuisance for him. So we'll see what LGD picks up to counteract the Nyx Assassin Shadow Demon. It's not the strongest tri-lane setup ever because Nyx is a melee hero, and Shadow Demon doesn't naturally have a whole lot of damage himself. Disruption is fantastic, but a melee hero plus Shadow Demon doesn't give you a ton of offensive potential, so LGD might try to punish this. And to start things off, they grab a Leshrac, which Leshrac Lifestealer is already looking really, really, really strong in terms of damage. Yeah,
I would have been really surprised if they didn't pick up a support here. There's actually a dearth of really top-tier supports, so it was important that LGD picked up one off the bat. There still is Rubik in the pool, but they opt to get the Leshrac first. I think Lesh does a really good job as a support of punishing towers. And if you pick a weak offlaner, then you can just force them out of the lane and then take the tower really quickly with Edict. Or even if you go the Lightning build, it's really good for team fights, and they're going to actually pick up their offlaner. That's another hero that, there's a lack of quality offlaners. There's a Darkseer, Lone Druid, and then after that, it kind of falls off a little bit. So for them to get a hero like that as well, it's a really good thing. And I think from here, LGD might want to ban out some of the more common long laners just to kind of suffocate Dreamz. And they're going to get rid of the Jug off the bat, which has actually become really popular as of late.
Yeah, we've seen him almost every single game so far tonight. Really works well in conjunction with any kind of pushing lineup, especially with a Lone Druid, because of the fact that the healing ward heals on a percentage base, so that means really high HP units or heroes like the Lone Druid Bear will just get insane amount of regen. So, and even still, been seeing a lot of mid Juggernaut actually, and then they go for a little bit of mid-game roaming or ganking, sometimes some damage items, and Juggernaut has actually been doing quite well. So there's the Wisp ban in the second round, and even seeing kind of an unusual band of a Sand King out of Dreamz here.
Yeah, I'm actually a little bit surprised by that. It's really greedy support and not something you normally see, but it does pair pretty well with Leshrac, as the double stun has some synergy. They are banning out all the supports like I expected. Dreamz realizes that LGD lacks a mid and another support to go along with it. There are not a lot of decent mid options, so I think they're actually just going to ban out the rest of the supports. Unless they want to ban something like Puck, just so their mid lane isn't contested at all. And actually, LGD bans out Weaver as well, the other long lane I was actually going to consider. There's still Beastmaster, though, one that can just kind of pull along There's Tinker as well, but I think that reduces their team to a more passive one, especially with Nyx, Shadow Demon, and Queen of Pain. I think they're going to want to play more aggressively, so something like Beastmaster might be considered.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. And another reason that Weaver's most likely banned is because he's really great against a Lifestealer tri-lane. Lifestealer's open wounds is a fantastic slow at all stages of the game, and because of Weaver's Sakuchi, he can go invisible and hit max movement speed no matter what the slow is, and that can actually stop a lot of the early level ganks. So definitely a hero that started seeing some influence because of the prevalence of Lifestealer, so getting him out of the pool is really, really smart here. We're waiting on Dreamz actually to pick up their last ban. Again, LGD is looking for a possible solo mid and a second support, so they have to decide, do they want to play against the Puck mid? There's a pretty good chance of Puck being drafted here because of Puck versus Queen of Pain, and they were scared about a possible second carry here, which is going to be a Gyrocopter. It could have been a Gyrocopter versus a long lane, or a solo Lifestealer versus a long lane. If, wow, a Silencer pickup here. Not a hero we see very often, but his global silence is going to make a big impact on team fights in the mid game.
Yeah, especially with the lineup that Dreamz has so far, they're entirely relying on non-physical damage. They've got the Queen of Pain's nukes, Nyx Assassins, Shadow Demon, so if they can actually get a pretty decent global silence off, then it's going to be really, really difficult for Dreamz to engage. And it's not actually a hero that I've seen for quite some time. Ever since it got the nerf, I thought it was really, really good. And then it kind of fell off, but now we see it again being prevalent here.
Yeah, it could be really good. Are you expecting to see him in the mid role, and how do you think he matches up against Queen of Pain 1v1?
He actually does quite well, just because you can spam Last Word and Glaives of Wisdom. It does quite a bit of damage, and it forces Queen of Pain out. The one thing, though, I've seen it played both ways. You can do it as a support, but that would leave LGD with absolutely no targetable stuns, but maybe that was a strat as well, and maybe that's why they banned the Weaver, just because they weren't anticipating getting any instant stuns.
And we're going to see an anti-mage this game, so that's going to be the hard carry for Dreamz here. Pretty reliable hard carry in the late game, but he's got to get there, and there are some counters against him with Silencer. If he casts Last Word, we'll give him a silence after he blinks, if I'm not mistaken. You get the cast off before the silence hit, or after. The silence will apply after the blink, so it might help the gank if, for example, they can use a global silence and then cast Last Word. Last Word will trigger automatically if he can't cast his blink, and then that will shut him down. Not to mention Silencer also does lots of pure damage with his second ability, Glaives of Wisdom, and it might be a little scary for him to hit late game if Silencer has a good game, but in their defense, Silencer is actually really easy to gank on the mid lane. He doesn't have a good escape, and that's one of the reasons I think he doesn't get drafted that often.
Yeah, I'm actually really looking forward to this game. LGD did a pretty good job with the bans. Now, they picked the Lifestealer first. I think they were always going to do that, and actually a team from the West, EG, the way they play against Lifestealer is they pick a BKB breaking hero, or just a magic invulnerable breaking hero like Mag's Reverse Polarity or Batrider's ult to try to counteract that. So I think they saw that, they banned it out. Really good by them.
A Luna pick. So this really messes up the lanes a bit. We're not going to see a Silencer mid, if I'm not mistaken. Is that going to be a support Silencer?
Yeah, that actually looks like a support Silencer now that they picked up the Luna. And I think Dreamz is actually going to need a long lane here. Unless they're putting Queen of Pain in the off lane and putting something like Nyx mid and picking up another support. But I would imagine they'd pick up a long lane here, just judging by the way the draft's gone so far.
And do you think a Silencer Leshrac Lifestealer is a strong enough tri-lane to go against the anti-mage Nyx Shadow Demon?
I don't think maybe they'll offensive tri-lane this, but the only issue is that if they decide to go on one of the two supports, it's kind of difficult for them to get a rebuttal off. So Dragon Knight's actually going to be the last pick.
So Dragon Knight, Queen of Pain's probably going to go mid. I guess that is that going to be like a safe anti-mage expecting versus Zhao 8's Darkseer? I'm going to assume that's going to be the case, but we can take a look over at the players here for the Radiant team. This is Team LGD. Zhao 8's going to be playing the Darkseer. We've got Yao playing the Lifestealer. DDC is on the Leshrac. We've got DD playing Silencer. It does look like support items. And the last player is going to be Siler playing the Luna.
Yeah, and it actually looks like the anti-mage is going to be farming. I thought Oe was their offlane player, but we have... I can't actually see all their names. It's the hardest thing in the world, but we have Yash going to be playing Nyx Assassin for Dreamz. Oe playing anti-mage. LA playing the Dragon Knight. JYC picking up the Shadow Demon, and Jewel is going to be playing that Queen of Pain, one of his signature heroes.
And he is aiming towards the bot lane, so perhaps he's expecting a solo Luna, is my guess. Maybe they're expecting an aggressive tri-lane. Queen of Pain versus a Luna is not too bad of a matchup on flat ground because Queen of Pain does have a ranged advantage. And if you look at his starting items here, he is going for lots of extra stats with the +5 to all build, which is going to give him some good survivability while still giving him base damage and enough mana to cast daggers on the Luna. But the Radiant team is swinging down there immediately. If we check for some other indications of their item build, Sylar is looking to go fast Tranquil Boots and or Ring of Basilius, something like that. Darkseer actually is going to be mid, it looks like, possibly. Zhao 8 has the typical mid bottle build. Would that be too weird, do you think? Darkseer versus Dragonite mid, and then they'll shift the...
It's actually pretty okay, and Lifestealer is going to be top, and it's going to be really difficult for him to die because the rage is instant. So if the disrupt happens on him and then he just pops his rage, he can just walk away. So things should be kind of okay in that situation. I'm actually really excited to see the lineups. They both kind of picked a tri-core setup where they both have 3 farm-dependent heroes. Lifestealer obviously not so much as Queen of Pain does. She's really, really squishy, but I'm actually a really big fan of this anti-mage pickup by Dreamz. I was talking actually in the other room and saying that they needed to pick one of those heroes, anti-mage or PL, and I think get it to the late game and hope for the best from there, especially since they're the underdogs here.
And why do you think teams haven't been drafting those heroes very much so far?
I think it's just the reliance on the late game is not there for a lot of Chinese teams. I think just the fight mentality is always there. I mean, look at LGD's lineup. They've got one of the best 5-man lineups I've seen in quite some time, so...
Yeah, it really is. Vacuum into an Eclipse. You can put a Global Silence on top of that, so there's absolutely no chance they can return fire during that. And that sounds insanely scary. They have not the best disables, though. They've got a mini stun from Vacuum, basically. They've got mini stuns from Luna, and a Leshrac stun is mostly all they're working with. So maybe they'll pick up some items that'll help fill in those gaps a little bit. Possible sheep sticks or things. But yeah, it does look like a really, really scary lineup. A lot more damage coming out of their team than what Dreamz is working with.
Yeah, not a single hero with a mustache, Kevin.
I know. What is up with this? Like, how are they supposed to win? Oh, wait. Darkseer's got it set. Check
no,
that
it's like
out.
a beard.
What? I see hairs coming from his kind of lip. It's not. It's like it's a reverse mustache. All right. It's a beard.
It's a beard. I don't know. I'm hating on mustaches.
Damn it, Leshrac. Come on.
I've just got mustache envy, so because I myself can't grow one to save my life.
You hated on me for 2 weeks until you told me the truth, and now I know.
It's because it tickles me. But
that is true.
It looks like the game's actually going to go underway. Everyone looks ready.
Maybe Anti-Mage has one. You never know. He's got a mask on right now.
But if you click on his hero above... Alright, enough about mustaches. We're actually going to be in the game now. Dragon Knight mid, actually pretty decent. I know a lot of Western teams pick it up as well. I'm sorry I keep referencing the West. I'm not as familiar with the East, so I'm going to make a lot of comparisons there. But it's a pretty good defensive hero. A lot of armor coming out of it. You can pretty much just spam Breathe Fire, Bottle Crow, and he should do decently against any sort of mid.
Yeah, actually, spammable AoE abilities are just so useful for CSing. We normally see the typical mid AoE spammer is going to be a Shockwave Magnus, but Breathe Fire is a much larger AoE, so it's quite easy to land it on last hits while also harassing your opponent. And that kind of lane control that it provides is actually really, really useful. And you can even easily get 2 creeps and maybe some harassment if the enemy opponent isn't paying attention. And since it's a Darkseer, if he ever wants to go into melee range, it's just going to be the easiest Breathe Fire ever. So that could actually give him quite a bit of lane leverage.
Yeah. Alright, and I think we've actually got our lane set. We've got the tri-lane top against what looks actually... Is the Silencer actually rotating top as well?
Yeah, I think so. He is part of the tri-lane, so I guess they're going to shift towards the top lane. They're going to kill all of these Shadow Demon illusions, which have spawned. Dreamz' Shadow Demon does pick that up, but they die quite rapidly. The first Observer Ward is going to go down. It's going to be a Dire Ward, checking the top runes. So that will see the players shifting up there. Another Observer Ward from LGD in a less commonly dewarded spot, but I may have noticed the place, and we see a ping actually. One smoke is picked up on Shadow Demon. I wouldn't be too surprised if even early gank. There's a disruption on the Darkseer. They're moving in. Here comes the level 1 stun. We'll have another stun in a second. That level 1 stun is so strong, and the right clicks looks like Zhao 8 might be the first blood. He is going to go down. And first blood goes to Dreamz. A really nice start for them.
Yeah, and that was actually really phenomenally done. They came in from the top. He had no time to react. Obviously, he didn't get Surge. He was expecting just a trade farm, and that's just a really big start for LA, actually, in mid. He's actually going to pick up his bottle already, and Zhao 8 actually had to pick up a TP, so he's now even further delayed from that.
And he was not the one to get able to get the last hit. He got 1 assist, but even still, the extra gold is going to pay off really hard. He's hitting level 2. And now Darkseer is going to have to be a little careful because that threat might come back later if they can chain stun quite well. Because, you know, that Dragon Tail is a huge stun. That's 2.5 seconds, which means that's going to cover Surge until, for a pretty large percentage of the Surge duration, if he times it correctly.
Yeah, and actually the one downside, though, is Yao did get some free farm time up there. The lane started pushing in the other way. Always having a bit of a difficult time here. No Stout Shield, picks up the Ring of Protection and the Quelling Blade. And since his supports rotated mid, he's had quite a difficult time. Actually only at 2 CS compared to Yao, who is now at 7.
Wow, and Siler doing a lot of damage to Jules, actually. He gets put down, going to pop himself, but he is halfway out of his tangos as well. And despite dying, highest farmer on the map right now is Darkseer. Zhao White is taking some small camps, though, so that's going to inflate his score a little bit. Those are a lot less gold per creep than a typical lane creep.
Yeah, and Darkseer on Radiant's actually really good just because you can stack that small camp and abuse it when you're not doing anything else. As you can't creep skip in mid lane because it's a little more dangerous, obviously, so
yeah, no
just
kidding.
going to do the small camp as much as he possibly can, pick up as much free farm, and that's actually what makes Darkseer a really viable mid for the Radiant side.
Ooh, Jules and the Luna once again trading hits. This is definitely the closest lane so far. Jules is almost out of tangos. He's not going to hit full HP here. And Salar is leveraging his passive, which really does give him a lot of bonus damage. Plus 14 at level 1. He's got his boots picked up. And as soon as he gets 2 more last hits, he's going to have Tranquil Boots. And that's going to give him a pretty good advantage over Queen of Pain because she's very unlikely to pick that up. Maybe a bottle. Yep, we have a bottle flying from the mid lane. So Jules is going to be covered in just a second here.
Yeah, I'm actually watching top. I don't know. I'm actually certain they shouldn't be able to kill Yao, and Anti-Mage is also going to have a difficult time dying, as he has the blink and they have no instant stuns. Maybe if the last word gets caught at a really good time and they're able to catch up and slow him down, but for the most part it looks like the carries are going to be pretty safe here. So I'd imagine if they are going to go on somebody, it would be the Shadow Demon, potentially. As long as the Shadow Demon positions himself well, though, things should be okay as he can disrupt to save anything.
Yeah, and he's picked up a Shadow Poison as well, just for a little bit of extra damage, and most importantly, vision on enemy players here. Siler actually has to back up quite a bit. He does have a possible Ring of Regen coming. Looks like he hasn't purchased it yet. It looks like he's running all the way home. So this is going to give Jules some really, really good EXP. He was able to get his bottle into lane before the Siler was able to pick up his Tranquil, so this is going to cost him at least a level here. They're going on the Shadow Demon. Again, he is out of position. There's the last word. He tries to disrupt, but a great Split Earth puts him so low, and he's just going to die. He does not get the disrupt off in time. And the first blood in the tri-lane here as Yao is able to get the assist. Looks like Souncer is picking up the kill. So nice little kill there, but a support out of position and a great Dire Ward that, I'm sorry, you did not spot that with that. Just found him in the jungle.
Yeah, that was just a bit of fail positioning. It's really, really important that JYC doesn't get caught at all this game. If he's the first one that gets caught, he's actually going to die, and Disrupt isn't going to do too much for them in a situation like this. And Siler actually having a little bit of a tough time at bottom as Jules picks up a bottle first.
Ooh, is he going to go ganking? He does have a haste rune, so even with Queen of Pain Blink, he should be able to chase this down quite easily. Siler's getting ready. There's the first nuke. Jules is training, but he has no idea that he's coming in. Zowie does the vacuum and now chasing him down. This does not look good for Jules at all. And the Iron Shell trapped in by creeps and a great gank from Darkseer, able to pick that off. And most importantly, while the supports are roaming down here, but they're never going to put a ward down here because they're expecting a 1v1 matchup. Can they kill Darkseer? Nope, he's going to run right past. So a great little gank there for LGD.
Yeah, and this is actually a really nice smoke gank. It's a good rebuttal. The lane at top is pushed, so they don't actually know where the supports are. Oh, he's actually not going to farm anyways, so this is a really nice little smoke gank by here. They're going to wait for Jules to come back in, and Sylar's actually pushed out quite far up.
He is looking to get disrupted, but I don't think they can get this kill here. They're such low-level supports. The stun is even early here from Yosh, and Siler, if he gets one bit of EXP, he even hits 6, so that was a little scary for those supports, but there's nothing they could do. If Quap was there, they would have had that kill, but there was no TP from Jules, actually. He walked back from lane, he purchased a full no talisman and a magic wand, and not having a TP scroll there absolutely cost them that kill on the Luna.
Yeah, a bit of a fail. Going for kind of a greedy build, picking up a null and a magic wand before boots, or picking up a TP, especially since he saw that his supports are rotating down.
Yeah.
So I think that was a little bit of a misplay and miscommunication maybe. Because that actually was a really good opportunity for them. Siler was actually pushing up quite far up.
Yeah, even with the missed stun, I think they would have had a chance if a level 5 Queen of Pain was there. Just a couple nukes and a dagger really would have slowed him a lot. So Siler does a nice pull, picks up level 6, and now if Jules ever decides to go really aggressive, he's going to need some help. DD almost getting caught here, looking for a disruption. 2 levels of Shadow Poison, so JYC here doing some decent magic damage. He's got a 4-stick wand as well, so some good regen. Now peeking over to nighttime. Going to be an Invis rune top. They're racing for it. LA goes for it. There's a stun. He's going to be able to steal this, so some damage done to Zhao 8. There's very little chance that he will end up dying from this, but the poison damage over time will help out. Is he going to gank the top lane? There is a Radiant Sentry Ward in the jungle, but they don't have regular vision, so they have no idea if he is actually going that way. He's looking for the setup, but killing a 560 HP Leshrac under tower is going to be so difficult for him, even with a level 4 Breathe Fire.
Yeah, and this is actually really good positioning by DD. They saw that the gank bottom failed, so they assumed that they go mid, and DD actually countered his movement there, and they're actually going to pick up Jules, I think. One more hit would do it.
Really, really good pick off there. Sylar looking ulti. He wants to get away from the creeps. Will he cast it? He doesn't. He knows that's just going to run out. DD gets a stun from the Nyx Assassin and the Soul Catcher, and big damage coming out of the two supports. Able to get a double kill on the bot lane for the Luna and the Silencer, losing their quap, but overall, I think a very good trade there.
Yeah, and actually, LGD knew that they were going to go down there. They saw that they had a ward placed up here, and they didn't see the supports rotate back up. So they knew that they were going to go mid, but then they just went straight back bottom, and you saw DD kind of match the movement, and yet no TP came out, so a bit of a misplay by LGD right there.
Yeah, it doesn't look like DDC had a TP scroll. He doesn't even have boots yet, so I'm sure he wants to stay in this lane with the Lifestealer. If anybody comes to the lane, they have a chance of dying, which is most likely why the Anti-Mage is actually just farming the jungle a little bit, picking off this the medium pull camp. He's got Tranquils, as well as a Quelling Blade with the Poor Man's Shield, so he can actually jungle quite well. But as long as these two heroes are in lane, there's a little bit of threat here. Anti-Mage, if the stun does end up landing, he could get put in position. He actually doesn't even have Spell Shield yet, so Leshrac is pretty much doing full regular damage in this lane.
Yeah, that's a really greedy build, but I think he knows that with Blink, they have no target stuns or any way of killing him pre-6 for Silencer. So he's going to take a lot of abuse, though.
Yeah, he's just lost 80% of his very, very low HP for the early game. His Tranquil Boots are on cooldown for 26 seconds, so he can't even jungle right now until a creep wave comes up and he's able to pull it. So I don't know. I guess he's going to walk and stand around for a bit. Oh, they passed him a self, so that's going to be a saving grace here and get him back in the farm game sometime in the next 15 seconds.
Yeah, and I think the supports on Dreamz should actually just start pulling so the Anti-Mage can catch up if he ends up going for that Battle Fury. Dreamz is actually JYC and Yash doing a good job of roaming, but when you roam this much, what it means is that your Anti-Mage is actually going to get no farm at all.
They're trying to initiate, but they can't catch anybody. The no boots on Leshrac might be able to snag him. There's a super long Dragon Tail, and he's got a DD super dead support here. Trying to give it to Anti-Mage, but Shadow Demon accidentally picks it up with another Shadow Poison. Level 3 on that, so super good damage for a support hero in the early game.
Yeah, and the Siege Wagon actually goes down, so LA might think twice about trying to push this out, but he does have a DD rune. The glyph does pop up. Doesn't look like anybody's going to rotate around. DD's still bottom. Sylar does have a TP, though, and his ultimate.
And they are right-clicking the tower bit. That Dragon Poison is fantastic for early towers. Does 20 damage per second to buildings, and they will move it down to about 400 HP as Yao waits for them to back up, and then he will cover things. Zhao 8 appropriately shifting over just in time to help out with the Iron Chill. It means the creeps are going to die pretty fast here. So Sylar continues to farm in the bot lane. He's at 36 CS here. And level 8 as well, so as soon as his Lunar Blessing maxes out, it's going to actually be really strong for the Radiant team since they do have at least 3 ranged heroes. And even the Silencer, who is playing a support role, is leveling quite well. He's at level 5 here, and once he hits 6, he will have some good application towards team fights. And boots on him, hopefully a wand afterwards, and just other really basic tanky items so you can stay alive in fights.
Yeah, that was actually a really nice rotation by LGD. They didn't panic. They didn't send anybody else any more than they needed. Zhao 8 actually came top, Ion Shelled, and then from there on, Sylar just continues to farm, DD continues to pull. They know that level 6 on Silencer is actually pivotal for them team fighting.
And Anti-Mage again pressuring the lane. He's got his Ring of Health picked up now. Haste Rune gets picked up by the Darkseer, and he's going to shift back towards the mid lane. Another Lightning to harass Anti-Mage. Still hasn't picked up a single level of Spell Shield. If he gets caught by Luna or something, I mean, there is a decent amount of magic damage on the Radiant team. I guess he's just honestly not concerned of Leshrac. I mean, you would think that once he saw the Lightning, he'd get at least 1 point here. I really don't understand why he doesn't have at least 1. It's almost a hood for 1 single skill point, but we will see a smoke gank by the 2 supports, see if they can get a kill.
Yeah, and they're actually going to rotate mid, maybe? Actually, I think they'll just skip that and try to kill Sylar again with the help of Jules, as nobody else is mid. And Zhao 8 looks like he's just going to back up. He's got a haste rune as well, and DDC is actually going to back up right behind him. So this looks like a little bit of a wasted smoke gank.
They can see the ward, though. They're coming in. Dragon Knight's ulti is about to run out, actually, so this could be pretty bad for him. There's the stun, and then he realizes Leshrac is there, throws the fire, and is running away. Oh, man, open wounds on him. He's going to try to juke through. Great stun landed. Here comes the lightning as well. Puts him pretty low, but he actually is able to run past. Not the best block from Yao, but the vacuum, and he is going to be very easily finished off here. Another lightning, and Dragon Knight, despite his high armor, just gets melted by magic damage. And very, very greedy gank there. I mean, he obviously ran through ward vision. A very, very high chance of there being an observer ward there, and especially with Dragon form running out. That just seems so greedy.
It was a little bit crazy. I think he thought the supports were going to rotate in closer, but then the Shadow Demon attacked the creep, meaning the smoke was rendered useless, and they knew something was up.
Well, Anti-Mage still farming at least 50 CS for him. Looks like Zhao Wei's on the top of the charts here. He's going Arcane Bottle Mech with a wand as well. Jules on the long lane here has actually died twice now, so treads with a Null Talisman for her. Not doing so hot. Sylar definitely progressing a bit better, though both of these guys are actually dying. There's the smoke gang coming through. Nick Assassin's going to spot DD. He's not level 6 yet, so his initiation could be huge here. He's going to go under tower vision. Here comes the stun. Soul Catcher as well. He blew up so fast. Queen of Pain blinking in. Takes one nuke. Will they dive farther? Nope. They're going to give up. Sylar pops a salve. He's going to hit full HP, and they're still checking things. Couple Shadow Poison to try to disable the salve. They definitely want to go dive this, but they have to watch out for an Eclipse. As soon as the creep side, there's the first nuke. He's going to pop it, I think, but he's so slow. One stun on Zhao Wei as well, and can they catch up? Sylar needs one more Lucent Beam and maybe one right click. Here comes one right click. Disrupt is going to keep him alive for just a second, but I don't think he's going to be able to survive. There's the vacuum. That ends up picking him up, and Yosh runs for his life. So a little bit of a failed dive here and a little over-aggressiveness. I mean, Luna is a scary hero to try to dive.
Yeah, and I think they're actually trying to burst her down. Demonic Purge was cast on her, but no follow-up came in. Nyx was actually kind of low on mana. All he had was a stun. So I think they were a little too tentative. I mean, I wouldn't have engaged that. Yep. It would have been pretty poor for them, especially engaging with all those TPs coming out. And Luna still hasn't popped her ult yet, and I'm pretty sure they're aware of that.
Yeah, maybe she's saving it. She's a little scared of the Dreamz tower push. I mean, we saw all the rotation coming from Dreamz in the early game, especially the Dragon Knight coming to the top lane, and they didn't even get a tower out of it, which is really impressive. I mean, look at their warding as well. They have an observer ward behind the tower. They have an observer ward in front of the tower. They want to know exactly where the enemy heroes are, and Yao just delaying this tower as long as possible is going to help so much, especially because of both the Anti-Mage and the Dragon Knight, who are going to profit heavily from extra tower gold. So LGD is doing a great job trying to slow down their plan of action here. I assume that they're just going to farm up until maybe a BKB on Sylar, and then they're going to go do team fighting pushing of themselves.
Yeah, they're going to need to. I don't actually think if OE gets a hard and stuff like that, it's going to be difficult for them to kill him, but they're actually going to pop the global for this. Just pick up a free kill. Yeah, doing way too much damage at top.
And that's even level 1 Glaives of Wisdom. We'll see if he ends up leveling it up next. 6 intelligence stolen for the Silencer so far, which is going to be fantastic, but he is a little bit of a mana void target. Generally, Silencer will burn a lot of his mana with his abilities, so it can cost him a bit. But Zhao Wei again goes back to the mid lane, doesn't want this to take any damage. But even still, with the Dragon form here, he just needs to. He should really just be putting hits on this tower every 5 seconds. He needs to hit this tower at least once, because it will end up doing 100 damage. So slight mistakes from the Dragon Knight thus far. That would actually help them take towers faster. So Sylar back on the bot lane again, solo versus the Quap, and now he's getting even getting bouncing glaives. So big advantage for him, and it's an Ogre Club with a Bracers, even skipping the drum, and we're gonna have the next assassin shift on for a game.
Yeah, and this is actually a really good idea by Yash to try to pick off Sylar. The tower's really low, so any sort of kill should almost instantly lead to a tower, and they're actually gonna go on Sylar right now.
Ooh, he misses the stun. 2 TPs coming through. There's the open wounds. He has 1 level of Carapace, but it's not going to do a whole lot here. He goes invisible. That'll keep him alive. And a TP from Yao. It's going to leave the top lane undefended, but the wave isn't even close, so no big loss there from LG other than 2 TPs, but they kept the carry alive.
Yeah, and Yash actually, his invis came up just then.
Wow.
It was 1 second when he got initiated upon.
Through the dire structure.
And with the gank bottom, though, they are going to sacrifice mid-tower. Looks like some TPs are coming up. Zhao Wei actually has no mana left, but DDC landing a really clutch stun.
Yeah, that was so good, just as they TP'd in. There comes the Eclipse, though. It's reflecting a lot of damage. Dragon Knight most likely can go down. He does end up dying. And now Shadow Demon running for his life, but it doesn't matter. Stun's going to miss, but they get the kill. Demonic Purge on Yao, and this should be a mid-tower going down. They almost defended that there with the Glyph, but with 66 HP, it was Quap going to be able to stop it. She does a Scream. She does get the Deny, which is a huge amount of gold stop from LGD. But after losing a team fight like that, it is just not quite enough to break even.
Yeah, and Dreamz is actually doing quite well before that, and it was a really good idea for them to chase down. But then Sylar, with a really clutch TP, comes in from the front. They thought Darkseer had no mana, and they thought this was the perfect time to engage. He was also at half HP, and their tower was dying. So that was actually a pretty good idea by them, just not knowing that Sylar was going to come up like that.
Yeah, it was pretty solid. Mid tower might be taken out as well. No glyph for them. Can Jules take the first tower of their team? Second tower, excuse me. Anti-Mage was able to take that one. Here comes the TP, actually almost going dangerous, but Zhao Wei a little too late. Has no way to stop that Queen of Pains, so not a whole lot he can do. Regen rune on the bot lane, which they're going to be pinging towards, and Dreamz is going to shift over.
Yeah, and I'm actually really interested to see what Jules gets. He's going to pick up the ultimate orb. Waits for actually 2,800 gold before he does that, so I'd imagine there'd be Hex. I can't really fathom him getting a Linken's against a lineup like this.
Yeah, the core heroes.
Oh, and the bottom. They're going to pick up Sylar for free, I think.
Ooh. It's a stun by Yosh, and another Dragon stun. He's actually maxing this equally with Dragon Blood. Now up to 2.75 second stun, something that really does make Dragon Knight really powerful. You can compare this to Beastmaster Roar, for example. It doesn't go through Magic Immunity. Ooh, and he's going Shadowblade. Shadowblade Dragon Knight. One of the many things that we hear about when we talk about Pinoy Dota. And open wounds as well. And the other support hero almost throwing a stun, but canceling it last second. Will the rage last long enough? I don't think he's going to get this kill. He pops the drum, but now he's kind of out of position. Zhao Wei is here, as are a couple more Dreamz here. Soul Catcher, as well as the Disruption. This could be really scary for Lesh, but a great wall. And there's the Global Silence as well. That's going to stop them from doing any damage, and they have to do a full retreat off of that one.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we were talking about initiating with Global Silence up. You can turn around anything instantly, and they should pick up a tower for this as well. Just crushing through the fight.
Yeah, there's really not a whole lot they can do about that at this point. 11 to 6. If we take a look at the gold graph here, it's actually very equal. So Dreamz is doing a good job farming, but there is an EXP advantage going towards LGD because they're winning team fights. So this 5-kill advantage is helping out quite a bit. And Sylar's almost got his Black King bar, and once he finishes that, there's really not a whole lot that Dreamz can do. That's going to stop Anti-Mage's mana burn. It's going to stop Dragon Knight in almost all capacities until he gets good damage items. So once he finishes that, it's going to be really, really tough for Dreamz to win a fight.
Yeah, and I think Dreamz is going to have to give this up. A lot of damage coming out on the tower. Oe actually doesn't look like he wants to rotate at all, so it's difficult for them to fight here.
Does throw stun on the silencer, open wounds. Nice disruption from the Shadow Demon Vacuum as well, but he's going to get right out. Does the infest, might pop out any second there, comes out, and then he gets open wounds. I'm sorry, Vendetta, there's the stun as well. More damage reflection, great purge, and he does end up dying there. Can Jules pick up any supports? His HP is pretty low. He's looking for the ult. He's considering it, but I don't know if he wants to waste on just one. He does. There's the right click. Picks up DDC for the right click and the ulti. More Scream of Pains. Great blocking. He needs to get the stun off from the Nyx Assassin. Can he hold him up? Great Eclipse. Oh my gosh, he's going to clean up on a double kill.
At bottom though, DD.
Wow, picks up the silencer. So they get at least a couple kills. 3 dead heroes on LGD and almost out of mana for Zhao Wei. There's another stun. They might get 4 here. He's getting really low. The Dragon Knight's doing decent damage. And they do pick up a 4th kill, so 4 dead heroes. It actually works out pretty well for Dreamz here.
Yeah, and a little bit of an overextension by LGD, thinking that they were going to pick up the free bottom tower there. And Oe actually going to rotate down, and he's actually quite farmed now. He's got a Battle Fury, 1,000 gold Tranquil Boots, and I mean, he still has a stack up here as well. So it's difficult for them to actually do anything about that.
Well, things are looking up. I'm sure the EXP graph is going to jump a ton off of that team fight. Gold graph again staying pretty equal. This is a lot closer than I was expecting it to be. Can Dreamz take a game off of LGD? It would be super surprising, but again, same principles apply. BKB just finished for Sylar. He did not have that for that team fight. He's hitting level 13, so he has a pretty good level advantage. Is only 1 level ahead of the Anti-Mage, but Luna is a lot scarier at this point. Anti-Mage's ulti is obviously fantastic, but with only 777 HP, he has to be so careful about the Lifestealer picking up more damage items.
Yeah, Oe's actually done a really good job in the team fights. He comes near the end, picks off a free hero here and there, and he's actually just been farming the rest of his time. And this is actually really scary for LGD. Every lost fight means more free farm time for this anti-mage, and split push as well. And they actually don't really have a lot to deal with him if Oe decides to get quite tanky. Once he picks up his Manta, he should be able to dispel that global silence, and from there, I mean, I don't really see how they're going to have to deal with that threat. So I think the best thing for LGD to do here is force as many fights as they want. They do have a mech. I don't actually think Dreamz actually has a mech of their own, so they should have the team fight advantage theoretically.
And they are getting started on the push. Sylar's going forward. Got Yao as well. He does not actually have his armlet, about 60 gold away, but they don't care. They're going straight in. Jules is here to defend. He's actually going Lincoln Sphere, picks up the Ultimate Orb and then the Perseverance. Dragon Knight does have his Shadow Blade finished as well, and he's already popped his ulti. He's getting ready to go in. His 4 levels of Dragon Tail, and if they can initiate a stun on a core hero like Luna or Lifestealer and burst them down, it would be a huge boon to their team fight. They have a Sentry in place as well, so if they're going down Jules, she's going to blink away actually. A little bit of a wasted open wounds, but it's pretty low cooldown with 3 levels.
Yeah, it looks like they just kind of want to engage this fight any way they can. Xiaowei taking some damage, and the ult's going to go off as well. Mech gets popped.
And they're going to blink in. Anti-Mage showing up to the team fight. He's got a Yasha now. Will LGD continue? I think they can. They've got Eclipse up now. They lost a little bit of HP on Xiaowei, but popping his mech as well as 3 volatile charges. It's going to be a little scary if they fight any time in the next 30 seconds because he's not going to have the mechanism up, but they are at least full HP. And DD has got his global silence ready. He's now skilling into stats here with his Urn. They're surging for it again. Open wounds. They do the global silence, finally getting the combo right, and Jules is going to get bursted down immediately. JYC also dying, and immediately great start to the team fight. But can they stay alive? If there's buybacks or anybody coming back into the fight, we'll see. Where we've seen the stun, tier 2 tower goes down, and Sylar at half HP, but they took a tower, and that's exactly what they want to do, and they didn't even have to use Eclipse for it.
Yeah, and Owie doing the smart thing here, getting out of there, actually going to stack the camp one more time. He realizes that a lot of the hopes of dreams rest on him. I swear I'm not doing this on purpose.
Yeah, it's all in this camp basically, and now there's 3 times as much hope. So he will take that down. 900 gold, 138 CS at the moment. He's doing a great job. Top of the charts. But that's Battle for your Anti-Mage, guys. He's really good at farming. Armlet's finished on Lifestealer. And we'll see where DD goes with his item build. He's quite a farm support here, despite only having 13 CS. Urn, Wand, and a Boots with 1,000 gold in the bank at 22 minutes is pretty much Christmas here. Lestrak with Arcane Boots and a Bracer is also having a great time. So we'll see. What do you think Sylar's going to go next in his item build?
I'd imagine he's going to pick up some sort of damage item. Butterfly wouldn't be too bad here either. A Manta would actually do quite decently as well for him. Just something that gives a little bit of tank while giving damage, so Butterfly and Manta both fit those needs. He just needs an item right now to engage, as Owie's actually just getting more and more farm. He's almost going to pick up the ultimate orb here. He's got 1,500 gold. I think Zhao 8 with that ultimate orb should be going for Hex, just so they have something extra to deal with against that anti-mage.
Yeah, it's so good against AM as well, especially in the late game when he ends up picking Manta and possibly Butterfly. You can just shut down the disable, because silences are fantastic for the early game, but as soon as he gets a Manta, he can just Manta out of any silence that catches him if he's not also stunned with it.
Yeah, and they're actually going to go in the jungle here, smoked. Sylar did pick up that Yasha, as anticipated. He's going to get that Manta, and Smoke actually breaks. And they're surging forward, but nothing happens, and they actually get spotted out here quite quickly.
Yeah, it's the worst hero to find, especially in a little gank like that, because the only way they can stop the Queen of Pain from blinking is basically either a mini stun into Leshrac stun, or they have to pop the global silence. And for just a Queen of Pain and a 5-man smoke gank, that's not what they want to work with. If that was any other hero, like a support or even the anti-mage.
Oh, he's actually going to get rotated here on top. I don't actually know if he's going to see this in time. Maybe he decides to blink back into him.
There's the vacuum, start things off. Here comes the follow-up stun. Global stun is popped. They miss actually. Oh my gosh, they're even popping Eclipse for this, and he does end up dying for it. So Anti-Mage dead for 60 seconds. Can he buy back from this? He can if he wants to. 1,700 gold, but that would be a huge detriment to his Manta style if he had to pay for that right now.
Yeah, and I'm actually surprised they used that much. I guess they just wanted to stop Anti-Mage from farming, as they recognize that Dreamz' best hope is for that guy to get farmed. And I think a Queen of Pain is actually going to pick up his Lincoln Sphere now. So pretty good timing for that, considering it was an offlane Queen of Pain that was pressured.
Yeah, she had a really rough early game, and Jules is doing a great job. There's the Lothar's actually, Shadow Blade Dragon Knight's looking to initiate, but unfortunately he goes into melee form, so his stun initiation range is so much less right now. It'll be tough to land the first stun on Sylar, but if they get the first one off, Quap is showing, but he's going to have to juke into the trees, and I don't know if he got caught on the creep vision or not, but he is going to hide. The rest of LGD, does it look like they're shifting? Zhao 8's going to surge from the top lane. I don't think Dreamz really wants to commit to this, though. They're just kind of looking for really easy kills, and that's why the Dragon Knight did pick up the Shadow Blade. TP's back to base, unhappy with not finding a gank there, but hopefully for him, he'll find another one soon.
Yeah, that was actually a pretty good idea for them to try to gank bottom. I know they knew they didn't have any wards down there. It was a good rotation. They knew Sylar didn't have his ult as well, as they used it on the anti-mage at top, and Global Silence is down as well, so Sylar, cognizant of that, backs up a little, just waits by the tower and waits out the invises.
Man, Queen of Pain's farm is actually insane. He's number 2 on the charts right now. He's even beating out Sylar. Yasha is the choice for Sylar, so some much-needed movement speed as well as attack speed. He actually doesn't have any HP regen with these items, so that can sometimes cost you in the long run if you're not at max HP when the next team fight starts. It is like having one less bracer or so, but able to stay out of the creep range.
Yeah, and LGD is actually going to man up, start fighting. They realize they're at a CS deficit, but they do have the team fight advantage, although they don't have Luna ult quite up yet, or Global Silence, but they are in a much better position to push than Dreamz are to defend.
And they take another tier 2 tower for free. They still actually didn't even have their ultis up. 20 seconds on Eclipse and Global Silence at 5, so maybe Dreamz could have defended that. I don't know if they took the timers or not. But
it was just a positioning thing more than anything. LGD was more set up. If Dreamz was going to defend that, they needed to be in a much better position early on with Dragon Knight spamming Breath out. But it's kind of difficult for them to engage against a lineup like this, especially when Sylar has his BKB up.
Yeah, that's true. An anti-mage with no Manta style even. Again, he still can get killed pretty easily, as we've seen in the last time we got ganked. Pop the Global Silence and he can't blink. And then if he gets bursted down, it is not good for him. A lot of farm time will be down. Dead for 50 seconds, that's at least one jungle clear, one full jungle clear, and that's a lot of gold. So he does have Manta flying out now, so at least he can combat against the Global Silence, and I can guarantee that's what he's going to be waiting for. So again, LGD grouping up as 5. I think they're a little scared of a smoke gank. No, maybe not. There are some of Dreamz showing on the mid lane. Shadow Demon as well as the Nyx are there. So I think they're just really scared of running into Dreamz, or maybe they're looking for a solo hero.
Yeah, and Dreamz is actually going to just kind of slow down the game. They don't want to get pushed out anymore. Always going to just go from top to jungle, pick up as much free farm as he can. I think the next fight is actually going to be really pivotal for Dreamz, whether or not that they can contest anything or not. If they lose that last tier 2 tower at top, they actually concede all map control, and that's not what they want at all.
Yeah, it would make it a lot easier to gank their jungle. And as you can see from LGD, they pop another smoke gank. One of the many 5-man smokes. They're going to go in. There's Quap, vacuum as well. They pop the Global Silence. They really want to kill her. They are able to do so. YC on the high ground, great TP from him, and he is able to make it out. So they only get 1 out of that. They pop Global Silence. They still have Eclipse. Not going to be the most useful thing against Anti-Mage, but is he going to show up to the fight? No, he's doing the old split push, going for a tier 2 of his own. There's a buyback from Queen of Pain. He could TP back if he wants to. He does have a TP scroll, and they're forcing the TP back from Sylar, actually. And it looks like the Anti-Mage is willing to pressure this. Sylar's going to have to run away from the illusions till those timeout, and they're not able to get any advantage from that other than a buyback on Quap and that kill.
Yeah, and Global Silence is actually the only way I think they can kill OE now. Sylar is actually getting quite close to his Hex, but OE comfortable with just the Manta style for now. I wonder if he's going to pick up a Heart or a BKB next. I actually think a BKB would be more useful for him right now. As a Global Silence, he would be able to break it in case anything happened, and if the last word went off after that. And it would make him invulnerable to the Hex as well.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And Darkseer doesn't even have the best way to initiate either. He can surge up, but if he's not smoked, there's usually a pretty good chance of them spotting that out. So it's going to be a little hard for him to get disabled, but having the Hex is either way going to give LGD a nice chance at killing the Anti-Mage. And again, LGD groups up. This is going to cost them a lot. If they don't start getting some serious map control or racks or something out of this, it's going to be hard to fight, because at the meantime, Dreamz is completely spread out farming. Dragon Knight is taking jungle camps. Even the supports are taking jungle camps. Anti-Mage getting in lane to try to pressure our racks. And Jules also farming. So as time goes on and these ganks continue to not get them anything major like Arax, it's just going to put them farther and farther behind here. And the game is still quite at 0 because the ganks are still giving them some stuff. But the EXP is now swung back in the opposite direction.
Yeah, and Dreamz actually picking up a lot more farm than LGD is. LGD spending a lot more time grouped up, whereas OE is just free farming. Queen of Pain, Jules picking up farm wherever he can. LA is actually getting pretty farmed as well. He's actually picked up his BKB now, making him really, really strong against a lineup like this. With the BKB and the Dragon Blood, giving him, he has 20 armor right now. It's going to be really difficult for him to die. And with the Shadow Blade as well, he puts out quite a bit of damage in a top.
Oh, wow. Zhao 8 searches right into 4 smoked heroes. That is the stuff of nightmares, man. And immediately dead. Demonic Purge does remove debuffs, so absolutely great counter against Shadow Demon. As soon as he ran in, his Surge was on cooldown and his Surge was removed. So super easy kill on the Darkseer. And look what he was going to buy, by the way. He was considering purchasing a Mystic Staff, I think. He was very close to that. So that's going to give him a nice timing window. Zhao 8's going to be dead for 40 seconds, and they might be able to snag Roshan off of this.
Yeah, JYC picking up a Medallion. And this actually has all the makings of an upset, Kevin.
It does. This is not what we're expecting to see at all. I thought this was most likely going to be something like a 2-0. He buys back. Xiao 8's coming, TPing into the tier 2 tower. He's going to be slightly late to this, and Dreamz is going to back off. They realize as soon as the buyback comes, they are contesting that Roshan. Manta split has been used. Siler was going to face check to see if they were actually in the Roshan pit, and LGD is actually going to start this now. They want to fight Dreamz. They still have the global silence. It's now at level 2 as well, so 5-second duration that Dreamz can't cast anything unless they have BKBs or Manta styles to remove that. Queen of Pain is going for an Aghanim Scepter next, picking up a point booster, but they're just going to go split push now. Again, they know that they can't beat LGD in a straight-up fight. They tried to snag the Roshan after getting the free kill, but it's just not going to happen unless JYC, Radiant gets the kill, and Luna picks up the Aegis.
I was a little scary by JYC. I think he was actually trying to do something cool, pick off Roshan with Shadow Poison or something like that.
With one stack of Shadow Poison?
I mean,
that's pretty...
Did you see that one time with Ake where he?
That was a 500 damage blinding or illuminate. That is way different.
And Jules actually gets stunned in the jungle. Global silence gets popped as well.
Ooh, he doesn't have mana for his ulti though, so he won't be able to get the solo kill. Can they stop him from getting away? There's DD coming through, but a little too slow, and it looks like he is going to be able to escape. There's a fight going on in the jungle, though. Vacuum as well as Wall. There's a blink away from Jules, looking for the stun from DDC. Gets stunned by the Dragon Knight, and Yao is right-clicking, going through Queen of Pain ultis. Gemma True Sight on the ground. Leshrac ends up getting picked off. And one dead hero for LGD, and they blew their global silence. That's going to give Dreamz some really, really nice map presence for the next 2 minutes.
Yeah, and they lost their gem, which is not a small thing at all. Dreamz is actually going to get pretty decent map control out now, as they know where all the wards are. It's going to be difficult for LGD to pick anybody off because they can't put up any offensive wards now.
On the bright side, they don't have very much up at the moment. Actually, this ward is even about to time out. They have 0 wards on the map, so...
I mean, who cares when you have 0 wards if you give up a gem, right?
Yeah, it's like, haha, well, screw you, I have no map vision anyways. So
this was our plan all along.
You're going to spend like at least 30 seconds looking for my wards and wasting your time, so good riddance.
Yeah, the one issue with picking a support like Silencer is you pick him for the global silence, but he doesn't actually have a disable on his own, so as soon as it's down, OE actually has no fear. He's going to run around the map, farm as much as he wants to his heart's content, because he has so much time now. Global silence has such a long cooldown. It's actually a minute away, so for that full minute, OE just gets time to farm, and he's actually going to pick up a heart really soon here now.
That is going to be really scary. Again, it's hard to kill him in the first place. If he grabs another 1,000 HP on top of that and gives 1,000 HP to all of his illusions, that much more difficult to burst him down. And do we have any new items on the way? Again, Darkseer's Sheepstick was delayed by quite a bit. Not just killed, but killed and forced to buy back. They were able to pick up the Aegis and the Roshan Gold to counteract that slightly, but he still doesn't have his Mystic Staff grab. Do we have anything on the courier? Nothing. So their Sheepstick is going to be like 5 minutes later than it was before, which should give Anti-Mage an extra 1,000 HP in that meantime. So that timing window is extremely delayed, and it's going to be even harder to shut down the Anti-Mage now.
And the Anti-Mage actually has this heart now. Jeez. I mean, things are actually looking quite good for Dreamz. I know they did give up the Aegis, but it doesn't look like Dreamz is actually too afraid right now. And LGD doing the smart thing right now, trying to engage his 5. Global Silence is going to be up for this next fight.
I love what JYC is doing here. He's helping the Queen of Pain farm even faster by using his medallion. She's so close to getting her Aghanim Scepter, only 200 gold away, and once she snags that, a 35-second cooldown on Sonic Wave, as she is over level 16. So this is going to make counter-pushing so much easier and team fighting a lot better for Dreamz, so I love this item pickup.
Yeah, it's actually level 3 now, too. I know a lot of people they used to do the Queen of Pain Axe first, but the issue with that was you didn't have the level 16, so you weren't able to fully utilize it, but Jules getting it at the perfect time at level 17 right now.
Yeah. It really is so much better at level 16.
And I think they're actually going to delay fighting right now until Jules gets his Axe.
He actually popped Manta here. Oh, I love this. He's putting his illusions on the Life Stealer. Blink goes in, actually Ghost Scepter on DD. Will they fight this? Waiting for the global silence. Can he get it off? He does cast it, as well as the Eclipse. Eclipse is hitting nothing but illusions, and the right click on Dragon Knight puts him solo. They have enough physical damage to take him out. Shadow Demon drops as well, and Jules blinks away. They thought they were ready to team fight, but that was just not the case there. I mean, Dragon Knight was taking the full brunt of all of the physical damage from LGD, including the Life Stealer and Siler, and they weren't able to protect him despite him being magic immune.
Yeah, and OE actually just going to get out of there. He's going to start running down mid lane, try to pressure it out. They do have some time until Dragon Knight goes down. I don't know if LGD is content to push this with OE actually getting a lot of farm here and pressuring down.
Do you think he made a mistake by leaving the team fight so early? I just felt like he threw his illusions in, then he left the team fight.
I think when the Dragon Knight went down, he lost his buffer zone because that's what the Dragon Knight acts as, right? He BKBs, he runs forward, he's supposed to tank some damage, but Dragon Knight was a little too far away from his teammates. He actually dies, a little silly, and the issue with going Linken's first on Jules is that every time the global silence pops, he's unable to get his ult off. He actually wasn't able to get his ult off at all there.
So would you say he should go for something like a BKB next, possibly?
I mean, you invest so much money, like 4,200 gold, into an Aghanim Scepter, and I think he's actually only popped off his ult twice in a fight this entire game.
Yeah, it's got to be tough when you're silenced for 5 seconds. He is quite protected against the very limited disables that LGD is putting out, which makes the Lincolns help him stay alive. But like you said, if you can't put your ulti down in a team fight, it just really hurts your chances of winning it.
And Dragon Knight actually has level 3 ult now. We'll see if that actually helps them.
Ooh,
I don't actually know if he had it for the last fight. He didn't, right?
Dragon Knight?
Yeah.
He had it on. He still died. We do have an invisible Nyx Assassin, by the way, looking for possible support kills. 4 of LGD are here. I'm not seeing detection. They have a sentry ward sitting on their players, but they're not actually dropping it. The rest of the heroes are going to back up, I guess.
Yeah, and I think the Aegis is actually going to expire any moment now. Didn't really put it to good use, and meanwhile, OE just clears out the jungle, not leaving a lot of for Sylar to farm, and they actually see Yosh, I think. Nope, he's just going to run out. That's actually their ward.
Yeah, he's still got a Blink Dagger. There's not a whole lot of wards up for LGD at the moment. 2 or 1 super aggressive, possibly unlikely to be dewarded unless the Dire team happens to put one there. So good position for that, and the other one another high ground ward, so lower chances of those being dewarded. But Jules is counter pushing the top lane now, so LGD has
oh
to
my
make a
god,
decision.
Zhao 8 spots him at bottom.
Oh man, they hex him, they put the last word on him as well, and this could be an easy kill. They grab Anti-Mage, he's not able to get his Manta off. How did he get spotted?
That game sense. Zhao 8 picking up the vacuum, he's like, well, I'll throw this, and if we pick him off, it'll be good.
Did they know he was there?
I think they suspected it, and Zhao 8 was like, well, you know, the cooldown, it's not that bad. If we pick off the anti-mage, it'll be worth it here. And they actually really needed some sort of pressure on that AM as he's getting way too much farm right now.
He's the highest level in the game. He does have buyback, though, so not the end of the world. But hasn't picked up treads yet. Still tranquil, but his item progression is fantastic for 37 minutes. Butterfly next would put a huge problem in LGD's hands because Lifestealer is nowhere close to a Monkey King bar, nor is the Luna. Luna also going Butterfly, so it'll create this weird period of the game where all of the carries can't really kill each other very well, and that is not what either team wants.
Yeah. And Yao actually picking up Abyssal now. He does quite well for himself actually against the Dragon Knight. Did you see that last fight? He tore through him.
Yeah, when the Dragon Knight was at the top tier 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, he really did. The Black King bar didn't do that much to keep him alive. But he doesn't have that many tank items. He opted for a Shadow Blade into Magic Immunity. If he had something like an AC, obviously his survivability would be a lot better. Yeah, just going for Magic Immunity and damage, so Lifestealer ends up countering him a bit. And even Feast actually helps quite a bit.
Yeah, and I think this is the right item progression by LGD. Picking up the Abyssal Blade, just another thing to deal with Anti-Mage. Zhao 8 actually finishes his Hex as well. So, as far as items go, this is a really good moment for LGD. Once the Butterfly gets picked off, I think, picked up by Sylar, I think this is when they start to engage fights. And it's actually going to coincide really nicely with the Rosh timing as well. And they're actually moving over.
Yeah, he just needed that last hit, and he's going to shift over. He actually needs 11 gold to finish the Butterfly. TP's to the tier 2, that'll get him the gold faster and get in position for the Roshan. I love how the rest of LGD is actually moving in early. Try to snag a kill. And actually, it's going to be Yosh going in for the Luna in the meantime. Will he throw the stun? He's just trying to see if there's a sentry. He didn't see any weird behavior. And JYC also backing up. He's spending a lot of time in the Radiant jungle this game.
Yeah, and he's actually done a pretty good job scouting people out. I think the ult at this point for Yosh, it's not to pick anybody off, but just to try to scout. Because even if he dies, it's not the worst thing in the world. He does have Spike Carapace and a Blink Dagger and a stun. So it's not the easiest thing to kill him. And I think they just wanted to see if LGD was smoked or not.
Quap ulting the top wave just to take it out rapidly, and he will go back. 4,000 gold now on Jules. So his GPM continues to increase in this game. If we take a look at the gold graph here, it's again pretty up and down, but this time Dreamz is finally in the lead by just a slight amount here. EXP also in their favor, 5,000, but this is going to swing entirely on team fights. And actually, this doesn't even make that much sense because Dreamz is behind in kills on LGD. This is just reflecting the fact that LGD has been 5-manning a lot this game. Their positioning is constantly together, whereas Dreamz is spread out farming in lots of places, counter-pushing, split-pushing, and just getting EXP advantage from killing jungles.
Yeah, I'm actually in love with Jules. He does this thing where he saves a ton of money just to confuse us.
Yeah.
It's like we're gonna play a guessing game.
Direct troll. What do you think he's going to pick up? Do you think it's going to be a sheep stick? Do you think it's going to be a BKB?
I mean, I don't know. If it was a BKB, he would have picked it up by now. So I'd imagine it's a sheep.
He does that.
But I know just by troll, he's listening to the stream and he's going to be like, well, now I'm going to pick up a BKB just to screw with Blitz a little more.
BKB Sanjin Yasha. Here it comes, guys. We'll never guess it.
It's
no
the new
what.
Pinoy meta game.
I feel like he should play Sears, though. I don't know. This is a pretty big game. Putting LGD.
Of course, he's not going to pick up a SNY or anything like that.
Are you sure? Are you sure? I don't know, man. I heard SNY Quap. No? He could run fast. He's
Oh,
not mobile enough, right?
you know what the best part about this game is? I think LD said he would eat his eat a
man,
hat.
he did say that.
He said if LGD loses, he was insistent on it too. He said, "I will literally eat a hat on stream."
He said a piece.
Yeah, a piece of a hat.
A piece of my hat is what he said.
And we thought he was kidding, but he was so adamant about
I was
this.
like, okay, I mean that's a fair bet. Like LGD got 3rd place at TI2. They have a pretty good shot of beating, you know, the 9th through 16th best Southeast Asian teams or something like that. I don't know. And that seems like a pretty good bet for him. But
LGD's actually going to pick up a free Rosh here.
did he say one game or the whole set?
No, the whole set, I believe.
Okay,
I don't think he would have bet on one
all right.
game.
Yeah, that'd be a little crazy. We see a vacuum on the mid lane, but the anti-mage is able to take the tower. In exchange, LGD does get the Aegis, and it's going to be put on most likely the Luna again. Yep. So Luna has Aegis, Butterfly. Not a ton of HP, but 1900 with the BKB is still very healthy, and she's still leveling, of course.
Yeah, and Anti-Mage actually getting really close to the 6-stack here. He's picked up the Eagle Song, finally sells the Poor Man's Shield. He's just farming along here, waiting for that last fight.
And treads. Finally upgrades, man. Long awaited. He's like, okay, maybe it's time to get that extra 25%
Okay,
attack speed.
why do you need to save 5.7k gold? Like, what could you possibly be doing with that money?
Rapier? Maybe?
Yeah, I was thinking Blade because
That
why not?
sounds cool. I mean, it has been buffed towards anti-heroes. You know, it's not based on your instat. Although, actually, if you look at his stats, any of these would be great for bonus damage. Queen of Pain's agility gain is actually pretty respectable. The downside is that it's not very good against heroes like Luna. You could use it to save an ally, but I don't know. Dagon 5? That would be more fun, I think.
Jules, you're killing me. Just
All right,
buy
so
anything.
He went back to base.
You can
TP
sell your
skull,
wand.
Okay.
You have so much money. Okay.
Wait. This looks promising.
Okay,
Ultimate
yeah,
orb.
okay, he's gonna pick up a Hex. I don't understand why the wand was needed over any of the components of Hex.
Because
Especially since he has buyback as well.
maybe he wants buyback and the ability. I don't know. Reliable gold. There's no way he has 6,000 reliable. He actually has 248 reliable gold. This gold is up for grabs, man. He's gonna ulti the creep wave. Stops the push for actually a really long time. Look at that timing. This creep wave is all the way back by the Radiant Tier 2. They have to stand here. I mean, is his ulti going to be up by the time the creep wave gets here? It's going to be kind of close.
Yeah, oh, he's gonna pick up a free tower too. This is actually a really nice pickup by
Wow.
Jules getting the Ags, as what sustains a push is actually just
Oh.
being able to clear the creep wave.
BKB popped by Sylar and a really late ulti from Anti-Mage. Pretty excited to get the kill. It did no damage. Did he use that to kill the illusions? The Luna illusions? I'm not quite sure, but did no damage to Sylar himself. They trade an ulti for a BKB, which is, I think, a really good trade, actually, for Anti-Mage.
Yeah, it's almost up again. It's
yeah.
only got a 60-second cooldown at this point, I think.
Yeah.
Or
And-
70 seconds. Sorry.
And if this gets late game and Luna's BKB only lasts 5 seconds, it's going to get back into the area where Dreamz starts winning team fights, because they do have actually a lot of disables. And a Sheepstick finished on Quap now, saves 6,000 gold, then buys a Hex, so that she can have buyback most likely. But yeah, if they can catch the Luna and kill her before she gets the Eclipse off or pops her Manta or does a whole lot of damage, it's great. Especially because Hex does remove the evasion component from Butterfly, so makes her much, much easier to kill without having BKB or MKBs actually on their core heroes.
Yeah, and I think LGD doesn't want to give up another free Rosh. They don't want to just waste the Aegis again. The issue right now is that OE is actually just split pushing. He's got a TP. He flash farms really quickly with his item set, and LGD is just having to go back and forth, and they're trying to gear up for this push, but OE's actually going to just get a free tower. And the glyph is down.
They don't have Glyph.
Radiant top right.
Illusions are hitting the melee racks. Anti-Mage is absolutely terrified right now. He's playing it safe. That's Butterfly Illusions as well, so really good attack speed on them. And they get the racks to half HP, and the rest of LGD shows up. And again, this reminds me a lot of games about a year ago where Anti-Mage was just reigning supreme. And this is why he's quite annoying. They were able to delay the game until later, and now Anti-Mage has so many items that he can just split push so simply. And it just absolutely stops LG from even forcing team fights now, even though they probably still can fight better than Dreamz can.
Yeah, I mean, LGD desperately looking for fight. They show themselves mid at all times, but then the issue with that is they do apply some pressure, but all Jules has to do is ult down the creep wave, and then Anti-Mage just kind of pushes whatever lane the rest of the team isn't in, and it forces LGD to constantly TP back and forth.
Yeah.
And always actually just blinking around the map. He's going to clear out the jungle, and then wherever LGD is, he'll just go to the opposite lane.
They really do have such a mobile team as well. They've got an anti-mage, they have a Queen of Pain, they've got a Nyx Assassin who keeps blinking all over the place. A 3 heroes that can just run around the map, and he's even getting solo XP. If he can at 16, he can be invisible for the rest of the game if he really wants to. And he's picking up a Force Staff, so already has Blink Dagger, Force Staff, Nyx Assassin is quite fantastic.
And he's actually just going to push out the mid lane too. He just goes from mid to top, doing the right thing here. I mean, Anti-Mage does have the most farm in the game, but he's using his farm right. He's using it to clear creep waves.
Hex mid. Actually, he's going to come out. There's the ulti onto Jules. They use a global silence for that when they do get the kill. He will have buyback, though. Not... Oh, yep, he does. By about 200 here, so he can purchase back from that death. LG is going to push this and at least force the buyback. That's a really, really big cooldown on his life, though. He's level 22, so about 80 seconds on that. And LGD will push in. No global silence, but they do have Eclipse.
Yeah, and this is actually the best time for them to push. The top wave isn't pushed out enough. Jules isn't there to clear the creep waves from the anti-mage. And so now he's going to buy back, and looks like they're going to force this fight, potentially.
Well, they are. They're going to back off. They pop the Manta, and LGD actually looks like they're booking it. They don't want to fight 5v5 without global silence, and I don't blame them too much. They could lose another gem this way. Ooh, they're going high ground. Sailor's sitting low ground. He's got Satanic as well, so if he gets low, he can get healed from this. Illusions are going to time out just in time. There's a blink ward from Jules. Not the good choice. He ends up getting the Hex off on Jawade, and they're right-clicking him so hard. Can Sailor get the kill? There's the Demonic Purge. Jules does go down. Even the Dragon Knight is right-clicking. Oh my gosh, he's level 16.
So much damage.
The AoE slow is so huge here. DDC's going to go down. Even Anti-Mage hops in. He's not dead yet. Even Yosh running for his life. He's on cooldown forever and blinks away, but the last word's going to secure the killer as DD does pick that one up. Jawade running for his life, doing some juking through the towers. Oh man, Sailor's right-clicking against the Anti-Mage, but they're both dodging everything. The Glaives are bouncing as well. He gets so low, down to 300 HP, but I think they're going to be able to clean up the Dragon Knight. Yeah, they will. The last word and some EXP. DD's going to be able to pick up some int, 2 int from that one. Anti-Mage getting earned up. Sailor thinking about fighting, but the more time they drag this out, Anti-Mage is going to get away. The Manta Styles pop. He pops the Satanic as well as getting the heals. He's not missing. JYC gets low. Mana's completely gone. He's got ulti in 28 seconds. Can they get the kill? It's going to be so close to get Anti-Mage. I can't believe it. Sailor running for his life. 180 HP. Oh my gosh, they turn things so hard here, and Sailor is going to stay alive, and DD is going to clean this up, I'm pretty sure. There's the kill. How much int did this guy get in that fight? Huge team fight from LGD. All started from a mistake out of Dreamz, blinking to the high ground just to see if the enemy team was there. Such sick play.
The fight actually went really well, and then Anti-Mage didn't know what he wanted. He was like, okay, well, I'll go for the silencer here. Well, I can pick off Sylar here, and then Sylar popping a Satanic at the perfect time, able to turn it. It was just really nifty maneuvering, and the silencer of all people picking up a triple kill.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't been dying that much this game. He's got 9 kills. He's stolen. Does this say 40? Am I crazy, or does this say 20? I can't read that very well.
I'm pretty sure that says 40.
He has 109 int. That is insane. Thank God he's actually maxing out Glaives of Wisdom. He was going stats earlier, but it's completely worth it now. I mean, he hits 160 base. He's going to hit for 75% of his int total, which is like 90 pure damage. He doesn't have treads, but I would say maybe you should grab him, man. That extra attack speed against an anti-mage is really going to pay off, and he stayed alive super long. His last word kept being useful. There he is, treads. He's like, all right, guys, I have to do this now. I've stolen 40 intelligence from the enemy team. Is anybody hurting on mana? Like, Dragon Knight's level 19. He's only got 600.
They're going to go on Sylar. Oh, he's going to get stunned by Abyssal.
Abyssal Blade as well under the wall, and they're going to kill him again. 100-second cooldown. Can he buy back from this? He cannot. He's on cooldown. Wait, am I crazy? The buyback is, he's got 4 minutes left over. Man, Dreamz was in a good spot, but 2 little mistakes there. And everything is just turning around there. Jules, blinking to the high ground and dying before the team started, and then the anti-mage getting caught on the top lane with all the chains done. Hex into Abyssal Blade, and they can't defend this, I don't think, without anti-mage.
Yeah, and he's actually going to be down for quite some time, and LGD, with the items they have, Sylar can just push up, and then they can go from top to bottom. Or top to mid, actually, pretty easily.
Well, they've got catapults and 1 range creep, which is going to be just enough to take the tower, maybe. Lincoln Sphere is still up on Quap, and she's going to blink away. Glyph popped, a little shadow poison, but it's still got 50 seconds left for the anti-mage. He can't come back, and now the Glaives are going to clean up on everything. Melee racks as well as ranged racks. There's a Hex actually on Darkseer as he does pop his BKB. Global Silence is used as well, but he's going to book it, and I don't think LGE cares that much. They're going to have some time here to take the tower. putting it pretty low, but no magic immunity. There is a Satanic up on Luna, though. She does not have the Aegis anymore. An Armlet up on Yao, but he's going to turn it off momentarily, and they take 2 racks out of that. Top set racks, melee barracks, and will Dreamz try to catch anybody? This is dangerous. Anti-Mage is still not up, and everybody from LGD is, so this is not going to be worth it, I don't think.
Yeah, that was fantastic by LGD. It really worked off that advantage of picking off the Anti-Mage. The one downside of Anti-Mage having all this farm means that nobody else... I mean, Jules has some farm on him, but everything is on this Anti-Mage. If he gets picked off here, you know, Dreamz actually has no way of engaging. He does have a lot of farm, but the lineup that LGD has, Luna does so much damage, Global Silence. Yeah. I mean, the Silencer ripped through him with the Glaives as well, and the Abyssal coming on top of him, and the Hex. He's going to be disabled for quite some time. I actually really think BKBs are necessary now on Dreamz, especially since the Global Silence is just doing so much work on them. Yeah,
and you can pop it after the Global Silence. Wait for the Global Silence to come through, and then click the BKB immediately afterwards, and you will counteract it. And it's going to be fantastic. If they can stop the Global Silence, they can start team fights, and they can take team fights when LGD wants to, and that could turn things a bit. But farming it on a hero like Shadow Demon's not going to happen. Quap could go for that item if she wanted to, but ever since she got that sheep, things have not been going so well. And I want to look at the KDs really quick on some of these core heroes. Jules, despite having insane farm, is 2-7 and 3 right now. The Anti-Mage as well also has great items and really good farm, 2-5 and 4. So team fights are just not going their way. It's been a very, very weird game for them that they were ahead at one point, but don't have the best KDs.
Yeah, and this is actually going to be the game-deciding fight. Both teams know that the other wants to contest Roshan. If Anti-Mage gets this, it's going to make him really difficult to kill, and if LA actually picks up the cheese here, it's actually going to make it really, really difficult to kill.
Styler going high ground. There's the open wounds, but the blink out, nice blink out from Nyx. They're going in though. Dragon Knight pops the BKB. He's got the AC, so he actually does pretty good tank, and he does eat the Abyssal Blade. Eclipse being popped as well, going on something in Anti-Mage Illusions. Salar is right-clicking, but no MKB just yet.
Yao
so
being taken down.
Trying to clear out some supports, and yeah, Yao, the Lifestealer, does get picked off by the rest of Dreamz. They're kind of spread out. Big ulti from the Anti-Mage. Queen of Pain ulti as well. Salar gets really low. Hasn't used Satanic yet, but he's going to turn on some neutrals. He gets full HP from that one. A stun on DDC is going to get cleaned up by the Dragon Knight. Not a bad fight for Dreamz, though these illusions are... Oh man, that's a wall. Replica illusion as well. Does a ton of damage to Jules. He's getting low down to 500, but they're not done picking up yet. One last word on Anti-Mage. He's trying to catch somebody, but not going to get anyone. And this is Dreamz' chance. There's a buyback from Darkseer, and Leshrac is going to be dead, but he can also buy back, saving it just in case.
Yeah, the cheese was used. Anti-Mage, though, does still have his Aegis of the Immortal. That's important to note. He does have 3.6k gold, too, so by the time the next fight rolls around, he should have a buyback as well. And Joel's finally able to get his ult off in a fight for once.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Really helps out a lot. And he landed on the enemy Luna. He put her in a dangerous area. She was able to lifesteal back up to full in 3 hits, but definitely put LGD on the retreat for once in a while. That was the first time in like 15 minutes where it's looked a little scary for LGD.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like Yao's getting any closer to an item. He's had that same item progression for quite some time. When they were pushing the mid-racks, he had the plate mail as well. Does buy back, so lost quite a bit of gold there, but I mean, Dreamz is down 2 racks, but they have the right heroes to deal with being down 2 racks.
Yeah, they really do. Anti-Mage is at pretty much all points of the game going to have no trouble versus creeps, especially with a Battle Fury. Even a Mega Creep is not that big of a deal. And even as you take the wave, you go back into the jungle.
Okay, Jules, please pick up a BKB.
He doesn't have the money, man. 2,700.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, there's only so much you can mess with me in. Like, the lack of... I mean, he's got a Lincoln's, but at this point, it's just not a good enough defensive item for him.
Says the guy who never gets Black King bars.
I know. I was going to say I'm going to be a hypocrite about this.
You are a hypocrite. I'll say it. But... might see a fight here mid. There is an MKB up on Siler, keep in mind. He does not have buyback because he did spend this money, but this is going to give him a huge edge against the Anti-Mage Illusions, and the extra 88 damage is not going to be bad either. Some mini stun, that can also do a little bit in the team fight, but... the True Strike against a Butterfly. This is going to be the edge that LGD needs in their carry versus carry battle. Luna's items have been progressing, Anti-Mages have not, but they can't lose Siler in a silly way. If he gets initiated on pre-BKB and just dies, the game could be over.
Yeah, he actually doesn't have enough for buyback, so this is the game-deciding fight. I think Dreamz isn't too big of a fan of losing out.
Ooh, he goes in. Big whiff from the Nyx. Great disruption, though, to buy him a second. Here comes the Global Sounds any second. Nothing quite yet. Eclipse as well. He does have it off cooldown. I'm surprised he didn't cast it. And a big whiff of initiation for Dreamz there. The Nyx blinked in. It is nighttime, by the way. I'm sorry, it was daytime on the initiation. Eclipse made it nighttime, but he wasn't able to get the stun off, and it was a little aggressive out of him, and Dreamz just kind of like let him die there.
Yeah, I think they panicked. And you know what the best thing about that was? DD saves his ult. Even though people blink in, he knew that it was a false commit, and he should have saved it. Because if maybe he pops that ult there, Dreamz could engage, but DD just saving it out. Really nice heads-up play by him.
Yeah, maybe it was total metagaming there. He was like, okay, we're going to throw our support away, and then we'll get them to
force
pop the
everything
global,
out, and then we'll fight.
come back. And then we'll come back 5 seconds later and have a great time. Well,
Mind games.
Super mind games, yep. Dragon Knight back in base, 2,700 gold. He does have a Helm of the Dominator. Could go Satanic. I would like to see probably an MKB next out of him before Satanic, though, because he's honestly not going to do a whole lot to Luna for the rest of the game unless he does get that extra damage. His attack speed's actually pretty good right now from the Shadow Blade as well as the Treads and the AC. So picking up a major damage item to complement all that attack speed would really be awesome for him.
He's got 43 armor.
That's a little bit of armor. That's good, I think, against Lifestealer. Has Lifestealer made any progress? Not really. Ever since Abyssal Blade, he got a Plate Mill. That's about it. Hasn't had. He's not a flash farmer like Luna or Anti-Mage, so. Especially with those heroes taking the priority on farm, I'm sure he's had a lot of time walking around and not getting kills or creep kills.
Yeah, and Jules actually has 4K gold now. I'm not going to hate on him at all. He's played actually really well this game.
Yeah, he has.
But I'd imagine he's just saving for the buyback in case anything happens. And then if inevitable fight, if Dreamz decides to commit, then he'll pick up an item.
Yeah, he's also really good at ulti and creep waves. And I just love that. They go from full to nothing. It's the best. And he's being really aggressive here. He blinks away as the Lincolns gets dispersed. A lot of LGD was actually there, so if they were slightly more in position, he could have just died right there. Playing pretty greedy again. The rest of his team is set up, but we see an Infest as well. It's going on the dark side. They're going forward. They're trying to hex somebody. The hex Jules again. His Lincolns is still on cooldown. Great force staff, but we're going to see the global silence. Abyssal Blade, another good force staff, putting Jules out. Will he be able to survive the blink? He is going to be able to escape, but I don't know if it's going to be able to save the rest of his team. Another nuke on JYC. Where's the Anti-Mage in the meantime? He's about to enter combat just now. There's the Manta split. Ghost Scepter's own BKB for the Dragon Knight. He's trying to kill somebody, but he just does so little damage. Jules hops back in, puts the ulti down, but with 100 HP, he's got to escape. And did anybody die? Okay, Leshrac died at least. One dead hero. One support goes down, and the teams are going to back off once again. But look at these creeps coming into the base. Even Shadow Demon has to disrupt himself for fear of dying. And the tier 3 towers, or tier 4 towers, excuse me, take some more damage.
Yeah, great heads-up play by JYC as well, force staffing out Jules to save him. It looked like that was going to be actually the game-deciding fight right there, but JYC playing so well this game, actually able to save Jules.
Yeah, those force staffs were absolutely clutched by the supports, and they didn't even pop both of them at the same time. One of them popped one, and they waited a couple seconds and realized, okay, this still looks bad, and they sent him out of there. He was able to stay alive. He got his ulti off as a result, and that was a huge save. Because we've been seeing it all game. They go for one core hero like Queen of Pain or Anti-Mage. If they can pick him off, they go for the push. And that definitely saved them big time. That would have been at least the second range barracks or maybe even a melee barracks on their bot racks. And that would have been really
MKB
scary.
picked up now by OE. I think he needs somebody to pick him up a Vlad's or something like that. Just for a little more.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Vlad's would be really helpful, especially if you're fighting against Satanic. It's a little bit of a disadvantage to not have the lifesteal. But his this also applies to illusions, by the way, the Monkey King bars. So his illusions are also going to be able to true strike all the way through anybody that gets evasion. And that could even be lifesteal. You never know. He could pick up something weird like a halberd. Not typically the best item versus an anti-mage because of Manta, but never know. And again, LGD groups up. They have no cooldowns. 45 seconds on Eclipse. Silencer has 26 on Global Silence. And 1,600 gold in the bank for him. So this is a support, by the way. This looks like carry Silencer items, doesn't it?
He's actually a lot more farm than I anticipated. That's actually a crazy amount of farm actually for support, especially at 60 minutes where Sylar's actually soaked up most of the farm. And this is actually just from team fights. He only has 50 CS, Kevin.
He has so many, so much gold still.
He's
9
support
kills.
rich.
I mean, he's on the top for the KDA. That's amazing. That's really amazing for a support. Such sick play, especially a Silencer. A hero that has no disable other than silences. He doesn't have a stun. He doesn't have a slow. He just has to have perfect positioning and great right-clicking. It's really impressive. And look at this. Oh, man. Dreamz is going for a possible fast racks here. They just have the anti-mage here. The rest of them are smoked up. And LGD just thinks, they're like, okay, we're going to show mid. We're going to pick off the Quap or whoever's here. And then we're going to be able to take a racks.
Oh, there's no TP, though, on two of Dreamz' heroes. So I
Two?
think they
Oh,
actually
man.
have to commit to this base race.
Oh, no way. Is it going to go like this? Anti-Mage doesn't have a TP
They have to. The
scroll.
Luna doesn't have a TP as well.
Luna, really? Oh my gosh, no TPs on anybody. Looks like Dragon Knight's going back. He's going to try to slow things down, and this is how it's going to possibly end over 60
No,
minutes.
Owie, you have to go for it. There's no way you can get back
Add
in
it to the
time.
compendium. Anti-Mage is going to blink all the way home, but it might be too slow. The Tier 4 towers, LGD. There's the Global Sounds. Juice pops his BKB. They've got to slow this down. The next tower goes down, and they're going for the throne. There's no glyph left, and they're right-clicking it. LGD is going to take it. There's no way Dreamz can stop it. And that is how Game 1 ends. Oh my gosh. Dreamz, they had such a big advantage. Not a massive advantage, but a pretty good advantage in the mid-game. And so much precise placement and team fights from LGD and great execution, but caught on the wrong side of the map. They both did the same thing at the exact same time, and they didn't have the damage. And LGD takes Game 1 versus Dreamz. What a great fight from Dreamz. Super good showing from them, and that was an absolute pleasure to watch. I can't believe it. That game was so good.
Yeah, that was actually pretty crazy. I think the one thing that went wrong there was Dreamz should have just committed, because there was no way in hell they were getting back in time. All of their money was on the anti-mage, and he had no way of getting back in time. I mean, he was like blinking and hopping across the map, but I was a little bit good of LGD too. They smoke ganked. I think they were trying to pick somebody off, but Dreamz had the same idea. They thought LGD was going to come in for that anti-mage, so they sat smoke behind him, and it was just a bit unlucky by them. Yeah,
it was pretty similar smoke ganks. I mean, Sadler showed, and then they saw all the other heroes, and like, okay, go for it, go for it. We have a Luna, we have all this bonus damage, we have a Leshrac, and even if they decide to commit, our whole team's here. Like, they definitely had the big advantage there, so that was fantastic. Let's take it over to the analytics test and see what you guys have to say about the games.
Wow, what a fantastic way to start our second series here of the TI3 Eastern Qualifier. A lot of people out there doubted Dreamz, doubted how strong they would be, doubted them even maybe getting included with an invite here to replace the Neolution team who changed the member, but boy did they just put in a show, and boy did they look pretty damn strong doing it. I mean, they came close to taking down one of the best teams in China.
I think they surprised everyone. I think going into this, I know Blitz was like, oh no, I'm not too sure if this will be the best game, but that game, that was close.
Yeah.
And I think both teams could have very easily like won that game. Like, well, let's just start going through the game, I guess, breaking this down a bit. So I want to just start with the draft. So in the draft, one thing that we saw was that Wisp was actually banned. There's been a lot of talk recently about how Wisp is not a strong hero in China. It's sort of shifted a bit since about a month ago, even like a couple weeks ago, where Wisp is seen as a very, very strong second round pick. A lot of the time teams think that in China, they think that Wisp is a bad hero because he can't lane. He's relatively weak in lane. I think they underrate his power in lane a bit, but overall he is a weak laner. So, but if you pick him as a fifth hero, it doesn't matter. They can't aggressive trial lane. You pick him in the right situation. So they managed to ban him out there.
Yeah, I think there's some situations. That's where I think the Chinese teams have had some really good success lately with Wisp. They're picking him rarely, but when they do, it's always in that later on slot. When Vici Gaming, they beat LGD 2-0 in the Dota Super League. Game 1 was a Wisp CK as their 4th and 5th pick, so it really caught them by surprise. As far as that game, I mean, it's like you say, it was 50-50 for a good 30, 40 minutes. At one point, it literally looked like Dreamz was actually going to take the game.
It really did.
They had Anti-Mage, DK, and Queen of Pain, and those three heroes as your core heroes, as late game carries, it's fantastic. They had a really farm DK and Anti-Mage. Queen of Pain had some good lockdown once you had the side of Vice up with the Lincolns and an Aghanim Scepter. LGD I think just somewhat outclassed them late game with better decision making.
I think the Chinese late game is just ridiculous. Like Dreamz had a tri-core versus basically a Luna solo carry with like some support, but it's a tri-core plus a Shadow Demon who's one of the best scaling supports, and LGD just won fight after fight. I think like we should discuss sort of how the problems for LGD started, because they were in a really bad position. I think one of the biggest problems is that they sent a Luna against a Queen of Pain and they didn't pull him any items at all. He started with 2 Tangos, a Ring of Bastion, and some branches. At 8 minutes, the Silencer still had the Sylve. If Luna has that Sylve, he can actually push the Queen of Pain out of lane. He just trades right clicks. He does more because he has his Aura, which gives him 14 damage. He spams his Q, and another problem was that he missed 2 CS at tower, which is, it's hard. It really is hard to get every single CS like that, and that made his Tranquil Boots delayed. So he had to fare himself another set of Tangos instead of being able to just stay in lane with the Tranquil Boots. Zawei did a really, really nice gank on him, but Dreamz is able to get a counter kill on him. So I think that sort of started the problems. Another thing was that since Luna sort of got, I wouldn't say she got crushed in lane, but the Dreamz player definitely had like a 10-15 CS advantage on her. That meant that Sansa had to break the tri-lane, meaning that Anti-Mage got his farm up. Because before that, Anti-Mage can't really farm versus a Lashrak, Nyx, and Silencer. It's very hard to farm versus that. You have two 600 range heroes, they both have nukes. He actually skipped Spell Shield, which I thought was relatively questionable. It's a lot of magic resist for one skill point. And since the tri-lane broke, Anti-Mage was able to get up a little bit of farm, and during the mid game, LGD had no real way of locking down the Anti-Mage to kill him. They were counting on the Anti-Mage being severely underfarmed so that they could kill him.
Yeah, it seemed to me the turning point came when Darkseid got the side of the Vice because that's when they killed Anti-Mage a couple of times. Anti-Mage, I feel that was the big letdown for Dreamz late game. Anti-Mage got caught out, picked off so many times. And the other big thing was that fight in their jungle where they got team wiped. There was the Luna it was just Luna left alive with Silencer. Anti-Mage tried to fight with Shadow Demon and they just got completely outplayed.
It was ridiculously well played by Silencer. In fact, his entire play, the entire game, was just so good.
Yeah.
Like, I know I'm going to go back and watch that replay because I want to learn from his Luna, because that was ridiculous. Like, it's not even just his farming patterns and his movement around, like, it's his movement. He's short lane carry solo against a Queen of Pain. He didn't get pulled. It's a non-favorable matchup.
Yes.
But when they fought at mid, he managed to TP into mid, use his Eclipse, get a double kill. The next team fight, he managed to TP to a bot tier 2, run in, get another double kill, and survive in both fights. Without those 4 kills on Sylar, I think LGD would have straight up lost at that point. They would have just completely lost map control, and you lose map control against an anti-mage, worse than what already happened. Because apparently they can claw back from some map control.
That was with like a decent-ish early start. As far as going to game 2, I mean, I feel Dreamz that was as good as it's going to get. They just have to do that again without the mistakes.
Yeah, and I really didn't like the quad build, I'm sorry.
Okay.
The Lincoln's, it didn't block anything.
Yeah. What would you, straight Hex, or what do you think would have worked out better?
I think either an Orchid or a BKB, both would have worked very well. You have the Orchid for the Darkseer. BKB, he globals, you BKB, you go and you blow up the Lashrak. That's like LGD's only stun. They're not killing anyone without that Lashrak. What happened was that during the team fights, the Nyx and the Shadow had to overcommit to try to kill the Lashrak. Otherwise, the Lashrak would lock down a lot of Dreamz' DPS.
Yeah.
And that made the team fights go really poorly, because you're overcommitting against a Darkseer, you're going to get walled.
Yeah. Well, guys, we're going to hop ourselves back into game 2. We'll take a quick break before we do. I think we may be looking to fix some of the settings with the stream to get the quality as good as possible for you guys. So stay tuned. If the stream goes off, don't freak out. Just spam Kappa a bit more, and we'll be back soon with game 2 with Purge and Blitz. See you guys soon.